Hey, Love and Light, what's going on? I'm Aáron Godly, otherwise known as The Gift. And I just want to take a moment to give you something. And hopefully you'll take a moment to give yourself the opportunity to receive this as well. It's out of love. I want you to imagine how it feels when you receive a gift. Think of the best gift that you've ever been given, right? I mean, this could be as far back to your childhood where you maybe sat on Santa's lap, asked for something, and got it Christmas morning or something, right? Or maybe you really had your eyes focused on something for your birthday and moms or dad, they overheard and they were able to provide this gift for you. Think of that feeling that was created. Think of that was given, right? Something great, something amazing. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's intangible, like, right? Think of getting proposed to, if you're a woman or man, whatever. Like, think of getting proposed to. Think of the gift of love, the experience that is received to you. Think of spending time in jail and then getting free and getting another opportunity to be given to change. Think of receiving that promotion or even getting that dream job, right? That experience, to feel that feeling of receiving something being given to you, right? Now I want you to imagine that feeling, that sense, right? Imagine receiving that right now out the blue. You didn't ask for it. It's not Christmas time. Heck, it isn't even your birthday, and yet somebody randomly gives you a gift. They bring you a present, they bring you a gift, they have something to give to you, and they give it to you with no reason or cause or just even answer why when you say, are you sure this is for me? Like you're in total awe, but this is something that, and imagine it's something that you really, really desired, right? Whether consciously or subconsciously, whether, it's some money. Maybe you were behind on a bill and somebody blessed you with some money, or maybe somebody wanted to pray for you, or maybe somebody wanted to buy you something to eat and take you out to dinner, and you were really, really hungry for this, but you couldn't find the means to do it. So, or maybe you just you needed something or desired something for your car, right? Somebody offered to cut your grass, wash your car, right? Like, or just like some random flowers for you ladies out there. Don't you love it when you just receive random flowers from your man? It's not Valentine's Day. Like, imagine you're not expecting this great gift that you desired even, or just needed, right? Even better, a gift you received randomly from a stranger that you actually needed. Like, you literally might have prayed for or been hoping for, or secretly just, thinking it was impossible that you were going to receive it. But somehow the aligned timing and stars aligned for you that you received this, and from a stranger for no cause at all. You didn't ask for it. You weren't in a state of expectation. This was simply done out of the kindness and love of their heart to be able to provide you this experience of feeling this just invaluable emotion you have to experience to be able to fully be able to even partially describe what it feels like. I mean, it's overflowing with describable capability. It's unending, the feeling of being able to receive something. I mean, imagine even being saved from drowning, right? Imagine you're out with your toddler and you lose them for a moment, and you go into panic mode, and then somebody brings them back, or you lose your phone, and you thought it was stolen, and then somebody returns it to lost and found, and you found it, or they return it to you. They ask, hey, is this your phone? Or you lose your purse and somebody gives you the purse back, or you get your life back, right? Like, you get a second opportunity. You have cancer, maybe even 4th stage, and you beat it, right? And you survive, and now it's going on 20 years. You've been a survivor, maybe even a 2-time survivor. You've been given life, and you didn't expect it. That the doctor even may have told you that it was almost going to be over. They actually gave you negative emotion, and you overcame it. Whatever you believe in, God stepped in and gave you the gift of that experience of feeling that emotion of receiving such a great thing. Now that you have that feeling and emotion, right, ingrained in your head, and you're basking in the memory of ever receiving a gift that gave you and provided you this experience, especially if it was in this format, right? Especially if it wasn't your birthday, especially if it wasn't expected, especially if it wasn't asked for, especially if it was random, especially if it was from a stranger, don't know you from Adam or Eve. Like, no reason why, no cause, just to create simply the effect that it has when you receive that, to be able to provide you that experience, whether it was your first time, only time, one time, or a recounted time again that you had felt before, and it's been a long time since you had ever felt it again. I want you to imagine, right, you're on the opposite end, being the one to provide that experience for somebody, right? You're the one that chooses or takes the time and effort in making the choice to commit to the decision of giving somebody the opportunity to receive this emotional filled experience that they would have never received otherwise, just simply out of the love of your heart. Imagine being the one that provides this experience. What kind of emotion would that give you? Being able to provide exactly what you were feeling in your mind when I told you to imagine it happening to you. Wouldn't it almost give you the same feeling? It actually does. You know, it does. The gift of giving is receiving simultaneously the same emotion, because you're providing, you're giving something, whether it be tangible, intangible, what have you, out of love. And so you get to see the result firsthand. You get to see the tears maybe fall down this person's face. You get to see the smile, the joy. You get to feel the joy. You get to feel the gratitude, right? They may give you a hug, man. Oh my gosh, I really needed this. This is a blessing. You came at the right time. Who are you? Why did you do this? This could change my life. You may have, in fact, made the conscious choice and decision to change somebody's life, because you decided to even if you just took some of your time and gave somebody something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even if it wasn't anything you bought, if you gave somebody your time, you did purchase it, because God gives us the time to spend with our own free will of choice and how we spend it. And you chose to take that time, your precious unpromised time, to give it to somebody. And you didn't have to, but you did. And you weren't expecting anything. You just did it out of the love and kindness of your heart, because you could. And we all can afford to give something, even if we don't have anything. Even if we can't go to the store and afford something, we can all give the gift that is within us. This is love. And if you love yourself enough to be able to give love to somebody else, you in turn will receive an even greater feeling, because the surprise is you don't even know how much you're impacting or making a change in that person's life. Heck, you could even inspire them to be so just emotion filled and forever life changed that this is the catalyst to the change in their life that they make, and it truly does change their life, or even save them from a negative time or losing a home or whatever, right? Just because of that simple act of kindness and love. It goes far beyond just the thank you. It goes far beyond just that moment. That emotion, that experience can never be taken from that person. They'll remember it forever, man. And you know, people forget presents all the time. You show up at somebody's birthday, you bring a great present, and maybe the use of it or value of it only holds for so long, and then they forget about it. Maybe all the way up to the next birthday, they forget the present you gave. Hopefully when they invite you again, you bring a present for them again, or the next Christmas or what have you, right? The next Valentine's Day, you receive the flowers. Flowers been done dead. But how you made them feel, right? When they're not expecting, or how you make them feel when you don't come with a present, because maybe you couldn't afford a gift from the store, but you sacrificed your time and being at a celebration, something that they invited you to, something that means so much to them, a birthday. They can celebrate their own birthday without you, but the fact that you were present, you're in the picture celebrating while they're blowing out the candles, you know, they'll remember you being there. Other people decided not to be there, even if they sent in a present or dropped off a present and had to go, or didn't give a present or their presence at all, and you know, they still hold value in that person's heart. But you know what it means to actually be present and give that feeling of just being there, supporting, giving love by giving your time. You create an emotion. You help sing the birthday song, right? You hug them. You're in, like I said, the pictures. An emotion they'll never forget. They can't forget that. They can't throw that away. It doesn't come in a box. You know, life itself is a gift, man. You know, and once we realize that's the fact that life is a gift, we should stop being so overly concerned about how it's wrapped and about more so what's inside, that emotion, that feeling, you know, the love. Are you giving love? Because if you ask God, he provides us each a life full of time, full of right now that you have to choose to give love when you have nothing else. And it comes in so many various forms. Sometimes it is that $1, $10 or something to eat to that less fortunate person on the side of the street, or, you know, that donation to that hospital for the cancerous kids, or, you know, those shirts and clothes for the orphanage, right? Or those toys for tots come Christmas time for the less fortunate kids who don't have their parents or families, right? Or that random ride up the street that poor man, you know, I wouldn't even say poor, but that, you know, the person you normally probably wouldn't allow to sit in your car, but you didn't judge, you gave them a ride. They appreciated not having to walk and somebody not judging them enough to give them that ride. Their feet were hurt. Or take it for instance, man. Take it for instance, because I for one have felt this so genuinely. That's why it brings me so much emotion, man. 2013, 2014, right? Christmas Eve, a really dear friend of mine. She's such a humanitarian. She's such a great-hearted person. She knows who she is. But she invited me to come out and help her on Christmas Eve to pass out some care packages that she made. I don't know. She must have made about 20 care packages. Had like blankets and water and things within it. And she wanted me to help her because she was going to the city of DC and she was going to, you know, impact some unfortunate lives with these care packages. She took the time, dedicated her time that she took and spent it to create these care packages. And all I was asked to do was to join her and to help her to create this love-filled, emotion-filled experience for these less fortunate people. Of course, there was no second-guessing decision. I said yes and I joined her. And by the end of it, oh man, I felt so good because of all the 20 times that we were able to provide, you know, these care packages to these people and see the emotions, see the responses, see the gratitude-filled result of doing so. By the end of it, man, was so thrilled. It just impacted me to make it even further decision to go even a little bit above and beyond for the last person that we encountered. This is Christopher here. Christopher was under a tunnel, and I think we were about to drive off, and I said, hold on, pull over. And I wanted to talk to this person. I don't know why. Now I understand why so vividly, but I didn't know why I chose this person to talk to. We had one more care package left, and I wanted to give it to this Christopher person. I didn't know his name until I met him, and I was talking to him, and I didn't judge him, but, you know, we looked him up and down, and, you know, she's a doctor, so she could tell, you know, maybe he wasn't as healthy and upkept as he you know, could have probably been had he been taking a little bit more care. I think maybe jaundice was a problem, or maybe he was, you know, when you're less fortunate and you don't have these certain accessibilities, you know, you might get sick, but, oh, thank God for life, right? Because God will still provide you with the ableness to go on, right? Out of love, he'll still provide you the ableness to survive, to get to a moment where you're able to receive the gift of love and be filled with this experience, this emotion-filled experience that I was able to assist in helping create. Let me tell you what happened. Look, you see those boots? Those boots in Chris's hands were my shoes that I wore out that day. And anyone who knows me, man, it's so ironic. Speaking of my man, Stag Moolah, man, he remembers when I got those. Me and my boys, we went out to get polo boots that year. Not that year, but like 2-3 years before then. And they had been, you know, so popular, and they were my favorite boots, man. I had worn these with shorts in the summer. I wore these all the time. I didn't care about no Timberlands. My polo boots were my everything. Those who know. And I wore those that day. And when I looked down at Christopher's shoes, man, his toes were busting out. They were busting out the front, man. You can see his toes, man. He didn't even have socks. He didn't even have socks on. He just had these too small of shoes on, I reckon. And when I asked him what's going on with it, he said they small. They started hurting my feet and giving me corn. So, you know, I had to rip them open at the front and make them feel like sandals so that I could have some sole to walk on, man. It hurt my heart so much, man, because nobody should have to walk. And this was, mind you, Christmas Eve. This was a cold winter, man. He barely even had a fleece jacket on. I know he was cold, man. I said, man, what size do you wear, bro? He said, size 9, man, size 9.5 or whatever. Anyway, it was the exact size that I wore. It was the exact size of my polo boots I had on that day. And that was the only confirmation I needed. I reached down, man. And I took off my shoes. And I gave them to him, man. I gave my shoes off my feet to this man. Oh, man. And as I talk about it right now, I'm feeling so much emotion because, I had never felt like that before, man. It was a feeling that even right now, it feels 100 times more amplified than it did because the picture, it froze that emotion. And maybe he's trying to smile, but because of what he was going through in his life, and nobody maybe had given him anything as far as equal value to that emotion, he didn't even know how to feel, but he was able to hold still for the picture. A moment frozen in my heart without it, but I have it. And I gave him my number. He didn't have a phone. I told him to call me whenever. But you know what? I'd like to think that changed his life. It made his walk around a little bit more comfortable. It made his feet warm because I gave him my socks too. Yeah, I went home barefoot that day. Because the love for myself and wishing and knowing that if I would have been in the same position, I would wish that somebody would look down at my feet and I'd ask me, do you want my shoes? They would just give it to me. Because he wasn't expecting it and he didn't ask for it. But when I did it, I could tell that these shoes, man, they meant everything, man. I made this Christmas, man. Maybe he didn't celebrate Christmas. But from that moment on, he celebrated giving and receiving the gift of love because I know he felt great, but man, I felt so good. I felt so good to help Chris because, man, I think about, man, what if I had said no just to, out of the kindness of my heart to assist my friend in going out to pass out these care packages. I didn't make these care packages. What I need to go for? It's my Christmas Eve. I'm enjoying it with my family. But no, I decided to take what ended up being like half majority of my days of some traffic and stuff and choose to take my valuable time and spend it creating this emotion-filled experience 20 times. And the 20th time, it was so divinely orchestrated that it was so invaluable, man, that it makes this moment right now so much greater because I didn't expect, I couldn't see this then, but God did. And I in my heart subconsciously, I committed to that emotion being something that I could feel. If I could choose to, if I could be able to create that experience times 10, times 100, times 1,000,000, times the world one day, I would do it. I would do it with passion. I would do it with love. I would do it for a reason at all. I would surprise people with the gift of love and give it to them, man, out of any form or way that I can, whether it just be simple presence or whether it just be time or whether it be a word of encouragement, something that can last, or if it's an actual gift and I could just give it. People don't forget love. People don't forget your presence. They'll eventually misplace the present or forget it or devalue the present, or another present will replace over its value and they may not even forget it or it may never expire, but something will come along better where they're giving it more attention. But that feeling, you bring up that memory, man, it feels 10 times greater when they can refill that emotion. They could be in that scene right then and there. And this picture it changes my life every time, again, over and over. And I wish Christopher could see it. Chris, if you're hearing this somewhere, wherever you're at, man, I'm sure that that one choice of mine created a million other choices that impacted the world. And it was like a domino effect. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. And even if not, it changed your life. And that's a little bit of enough that God said that love, the gift of love, if you have nothing else, you have everything. Worth anything. And if you don't have it and you have anything else, it isn't worth it without that. So no, that's why he equipped us all with life and the free will of choice and time to choose to do with and spend and giving it out of the love for not only ourselves, but for our neighbor, just as equal as ourselves. And this is why God gives us life, because it's out of love. This is why he sent his son to give his life for all of us out of love. Somebody that he knew us. We didn't even know this, man. We weren't even there. That he gave his life, his perfect life up for us. Why? For what reason? Sometimes it takes a life worth of bad choices and then to be able to run into some loving arms, forgiving arms, because of the opportunity to be able to accept what was already done and given up for you. I think about that. I think about how one life made an impacting change for lifetimes, and lifetimes that haven't even come yet. So I think about this moment now as I'm walking, and I've been wanting to just, express the fact that I just completed the Thrive 2025. Shout out to Dean and Tony Robbins, Matthew McConaughey, oh man, Lisa Nichols, Brett, man, Mr. Brecka, people who were willing to give their time to inspire almost 1 million people, and Tony and Dean for providing the experience for free. Now, of course, on the back end, they gave you the inspiration to want to invest in what they had further on beyond the point of experiencing the Thrive 2025, so that you could choose to allow them to help you to be able to give love as well on a global effort, a platform in a way. And not even that too much of a cost when you look at it with the value. But you know what? The fact that what they gave in 3 days, 3 hours a day, for nothing, for free, oh man, with that, a person with passion, a person who believes in himself, a person with God on their side, a person who trusts and depends on God, a person with the right intentions, a person with the willing enough and the love enough in their heart for themselves and others to be willing to do the work to achieve the same goals without being able to afford the after package, and just take that free knowledge by listening and taking notes and then implementing and applying it to their life. I'm one of those people, man. And God aligned me with that opportunity this week so that I could see where I could be if I just reach and I just step forward on faith. I've done a lot of self-healing. I've done a lot of overcoming of fear. I've made a lot of choices in the right direction to get here, and it's been an uphill battle. But God knew that I would reach it, and He knew that when I reach it, I'd have a lifetime of stories and experiences to give out of love, bring awareness to the gift of love that we all have within ourselves to give, and help others acknowledge the opportunity as a choice to be able to give love, if nothing else. And out of love, they can give anything else that they have to give as well. But it starts with that. It starts with realizing that you are the gift. And God has blessed us all with the opportunity and free will to make the choice to exist in this fact and give love with our life until it becomes the reason we exist, until it becomes the reason why we live, until our life becomes giving love just by simply living it. He desires that. But first, you got to be willing to surrender and submit and give back. Give to others. Give love to yourself. Give love to God by giving yourself the opportunity, by deciding to make the choice to do every and anything out of love and give. Give yourself. You are the gift, and the gift is yours. And what I'm asking for is nothing but simply making aware to you that we all have the opportunity to be able to give. And if you could just give a share of this opportunity to be able to help me, help others, because I desire to do so much. And along my journey, I've written down so many notes. I've written down so many things, so many ideas, so many huge efforts of plans that I wish to fulfill, so many dreams, if you will. These are Martin Luther King-sized dreams. And God said, I'm going to establish your thoughts because you've committed your works to me. I'm going to turn everything that's on these papers into fruition. But without faith, you're not going to see to it to please me through these acts. And I know how bad you want to make an impact over times 10. I know how bad you want to create that same experience, that same emotion-filled moment that you made and helped create for Chris back then. For others that are not even expecting it right now, but because you're choosing to make the choice and putting the effort with the good intentions of your pure loving heart in doing so, and willing to get your hands dirty to do so if you had an able way. Sometimes financially is the last hill that we got to get over to provide support and the help needed and the willing hands of support to help, even if you can't provide funds. A simple share of this message goes even further than $1, $10, $100 that you could invest in supporting the love that I myself, one man, with God backing me and the entire universe as well, and globally, we can come together, and even if it's a share, a dollar, or both, you can truly be a part of a world-changing impact. That, yeah, it starts small, but this seed being planted right here in faith is a mustard seed worth, and that's all one needs. The pure belief, and I trust God in what I'm doing, and I see it happen. I see it growing into such an abundant, fruitful tree for every one of us to heal and help ourselves and be of help for everyone else and each other, and share love and spread love through all these various of ways. And I desire to invest further into my plans and goals. And I desire to, call collectively my soul tribe that is awaiting to hear this message. Maybe they heard it in a dream, or they recall me from their past life, or even recall me as a friend from school or what have you. And I created a sense of presence, made them feel something, and impacted their life. And I gave my time. And those of you that know, I have a company called Time is Money. And with Time is Money, we have a nonprofit aspect called Bread, where we're just being really excited about doing. It's bread for others. We're being really excited about doing for others. And this is a love-based, efforted program that started with me and my brother's idea to make these bread wonder and Thomas Bagel costumes. And within that, we were trying to market a song, but God had bigger plans. And we were able to come up with the idea and the acronym for Bread, and really make an impact by just simply making a little GoFundMe and raising $500 to aid our support, and go purchase a bunch of sandwich products and chips and bags or whatever. And we got busy. Look, here's us right there. And we put our gloves on, and we made them sandwiches, and we packed them bags, and we wrote that Bread for others on the bags. And it looked real, just raw and authentic. And that $500 went a long way. And after the pictures were taken and put up, man, I tell you, the pictures don't do enough justice. Man, the people that were impacted, the tears, I did exactly what I desired to do. And with my brother by my side, because it was a bigger scale. It was a bunch of Christopher experiences that day, man. And I desired to do it on an even bigger scale, worldwide, on an even huger scale, in so many various bigger ways. Those sandwiches, man, it took our hands to make them. It took our efforts to actually go out and be courageous enough to go and provide these sandwiches and place them in the hands of these unfortunates. Some of these people were hungry, had need for days. Some of these people were so fortunate, man, so hungry, gave them two. We gave out all those sandwiches, man. And these people they might forget the sandwich and how it tasted or what have you, but they never forget the day that two bread loaf dressed brothers came and provided them with a sandwich. It gave them a sense of humor. It gave them a smile. It gave them a laugh. It gave to each of us the experience of an emotion-filled moment that was shared between us off of a simple act of love, out of faith in doing what God had led us to do in our hearts, not for any profit at all. And these people weren't expecting it either, but because there was a surprise, and in most cases a needed, but in all cases a much appreciated surprise of a gift out of love. It was felt and it was shown. And through Bread and being really excited about doing for others, this is the basis of why I'm here now, just trying to gain support and spreading this message out to as many people across the globe as we can, collectively, to help us, to help me, but to help us, and I say us, collectively as a world, to have one helping hand, one moment, one God dollar of a minute invested in sharing, or maybe supporting with that dollar that will go a long way. Imagine if 1,000 people share this, and then it goes to 10,000 people, and then it goes to 100,000 people off a simple share, and half of those people give $1, or some of those people give more, or some of those people give 50 cents. Imagine what can be done. I can show you, I can tell you, but I'd rather you see the results and be able to thank each and every one of you who encountered this visual and took the time and were inspired enough to help me make a change the best you could. As long as you're giving it with love, as long as you're choosing and deciding to act on love, I'm not asking you to give anything. You've already given your time, and that's enough. And it costs you nothing to give it a share and spread the news, spread the message so others can support what I'm trying to do, or at least be aware of who I am and the gift I exist as, and the actions I'm deciding to commit to, and the plans and strategies that God desires to shine light on through me, even in this moment, and breaking out of the fear of being laughed at or clowned or judged based on what other people perceive or what have you. This isn't for me. I keep focused on the people that'll appreciate these efforts, these choices out of love, that'll appreciate whatever help and impact and inspiration of change to the lives that I don't even know their names. I don't even know they exist. They don't even know that I exist. But I'm thinking about them right now. And I want them to feel exactly what I told you to imagine at the beginning of this message. Everyone deserves that. And the fact that we have a conscious choice opportune to be able to choose to provide and create this emotion-filled experience every day of our life, not only to ourselves, but to someone else, a stranger or someone that we do know, out of love. Out of love is what will fuel this. Out of love. It can't be done unless there's love. Love shares, love cares, love helps. Love is unconditional. True love is. Love doesn't forget. Love never ends. Love doesn't judge. Love is honest. Love gives. So give love. Give so much love that you feel like you're getting it. Because that's what it feels like when you give enough. I don't care what you do to give it, but out of love it should be given. Because if we don't have anything to give, we do. It's our life. It's our existence. It's a choice to use our life as an effort, an action, a catalyst to a result that gives one something that can't be purchased, something that can't be misplaced, something that can't be asked for, really, or expected, really, something that is invaluable, unforgettable, and man, it's so much good energy, such a good frequency. It's the highest frequency. It's the highest experience. It's the highest emotion. True love. God desires that for us all. He desires for us to each experience that and give and be able to receive and give it through each other by giving and receiving all the time. That's why we exist. That's why we exist. And together we can ensure that when he looks down here, he sees his intention being fully integrated into the lives we live. Perhaps even if it was inspired by this simple message, this simple act of love, the choice and decision to make from this moment right here, and your choice to share it and help support the efforts, it's gonna go a long way. I got pure faith in that. No matter how long it takes, everything small turns big, and everything that's huge and grand was once small one day. So through this little seed here, out of love, allow this to be a catalyst of change. And I hopefully that this inspires you to make the decision out of love to give what you got. You are the gift. I'm just a reflection out of you. Give love like God is watching, because the fact is, he is. And he's so pleased when we decide to take our free will and our unpromised time given to us each day, simply spending some of it to give love to others, which ultimately gives love right back to yourself. Bless you. Love and light. I love you. Remember, you are the gift. Don't forget it. And you got love to give. Give some.